Okay, welcome to my Good Food Real Fast cooking demonstration, and we are going to try and do a whole meal in 30 minutes. So this should be fun. We've done a whole meal in 30 minutes before, but never with an audience. So bear with me. I'm going to start with rice because actually rice is going to be the thing that takes the longest of everything. So I have my rice in my pot right here. I've rinsed it already. You don't have to see how to do that. I'm just putting my water in here, and I'm just going to stick this on the stove real quick. Okay, we'll switch burners. Wouldn't you know, it's right when the burner doesn't want to light. So I'm cooking rice in just the regular stovetop method, but I also want to show you that the rice can be cooked in this steamer that looks like this. It comes with a tray inside so you can actually cook two things at once. It can be cooked in the microwave like this faster than stovetop, and whole meals can be cooked in this. This also comes from Epicure, which is where I got this idea of good food real fast, and that's where the food is coming from today. But I just wanted to show you this steamer. I did use it to cook rice just before this so I could see if it really worked in a toaster oven, and it did. It made beautiful rice. This is going to actually be the bed of my dinner plate, but I wanted you to see that it could actually happen from start to finish in 30 minutes, and we eat lots of rice here anyway, so I'm cooking extra rice. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do dessert, because dessert takes a little bit of time to set up in the refrigerator. So what we're making for dessert is vanilla bean panna cotta. It's kind of like a vanilla pudding. I'm just going to show it to you there. Just so you know, I have two cameras going on, so I'm trying to give equal time. So I made this when I first got it with soy milk, and it was really tasty. But my family is used to Hawaiian coconut milk pudding, also known as Haupia, and they like that better than this. So I made it the next time with coconut milk, and that turned out like Haupia. So it's really tasty. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. The directions are on the back. The only thing I'm adding to the base pudding is 2 cans of coconut milk, and I'm just using this Thai kitchen coconut milk because that's what we got from Costco and that's what we had, and it works. That's what I used the last time. But I'm also going to show you another. This is my favorite coconut milk. This is Mayploy, and it's much thicker, it's much higher in fat, so if you want something really thick, this is what to use. If you don't want to have to add thickener or some kind of starch to your food, this is a really good one, but it's not always available everywhere. So I wanted to show you how it works with the stuff that's available everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and open my little mix packet here. And I'm just going to dump it in the saucepan and put in some coconut milk. Try and get all of it out of here. And then it says to stir it frequently. So if I keep turning my back to you, it's because I'm stirring it frequently. But while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start our main dish. So I'm just stirring it together. It basically looks just like coconut milk with a little bit of sparklies. So I'm going to put this on the stove real quick. And I'm going to hopefully remember to stir that frequently. The next thing we're gonna make is butter chicken. This is the meal mix, and it doesn't have any chicken in it really, so I can make it the way I like to. It calls for 2 pounds of boneless chicken to add to it, and it's supposed to be for 8 people. So instead, I'm choosing to add 2 pounds of garbanzo beans. And this is also supposed to be to serve 8 people. So it seems to me like it's a good substitute. So, and I did already try this, and it's good enough that we ate it and it was yummy. It reminds me of a Thai dish that was one of our favorites at a Thai restaurant we absolutely loved in Honolulu. That dish was called Evil Jungle Prince. So, and it was absolutely yummy. That dish was made with tofu and eggplant. So the next time I make this, I'm gonna make it with tofu and eggplant. But to show you that this can all be done in 30 minutes, I'm not gonna take the time to cut eggplant and chop tofu. I'm just gonna grab a can of beans and add it to it. So the first thing it's telling me to do is to melt a tablespoon of butter in a frying pan and saute 1 large onion. So I didn't even cheat and cut my onion in advance. I'm just going to cut it right here in front of you guys and hopefully just cut the onion and not my fingers.
That looks like a pretty big one.
Yeah, it is big, but if it's going to feed 8 people, then it probably does have to be big. Oh, there's my rice boiling, so it's time to turn it down. Good thing I have sound effects back here. These onions have thin skin. And I'm using my Epicure cutting board, which is really neat. It has little rubber grippy feet on it. In fact, I'm gonna take it off of here so you can see. It's got onion juice on it now, but see, it has these grippy feet here, and it's on both sides, so.
Oh, nice.
I guess it's kind of like those reversible clothes. When you get them dirty on one side, you can just put them on the other side.
Just put the stink on the outside.
But what I like about it is I also am, I have the mats that protect the cutting board. So I've got onion juice and skin on this one. I'm using a skinny one here. So we've got the mat that I can just cut on. And it also came with, or at least the set of mats has 2 big ones and 2 small ones. So, and the big ones are just, they just cover the cutting board. So that's really nice. So I'm just gonna cut this onion real quick. And it really doesn't matter if it's big chunks or small, because it's all gonna be cooked down. And the idea with these mats, I should have used the big one for this big onion, is you can just fold everything up and put it right in the pan instead of trying to get your cutting board over to your pan and dropping the stuff on the floor on the way to the stove. So I'm just going to cut half at a time, take out those ends, and I can just grab my pan here. So I can just like slide this right into the pan. That's kind of neat. Then I need a tablespoon of butter. So I'm just going to use, this is all plant-based by the way, so I'm just using this for my butter, Earth Balance. And I'm not accustomed to sauteing onions in butter. I usually use olive oil, so that's an option also. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, that's good. So I'm going to start this on the stove. And I'm stirring my panna cotta. It's just started to boil. So I'm going to let it boil just a little short time. It just says to bring it to a boil. So that panna cotta is actually just about finished. All you do is just bring it to a boil. And then we're going to put it in the refrigerator. It says to put it in ramekins. I don't have any. So I've just been putting it in cute little dishes that I serve it in. I'm just gonna try and get the rest of this onion into the pan so it can all cook at the same time. Be right back. Okay, so that's all cooking. The butter's starting to melt. My rice is steaming. I'm just bringing my panna cotta to a boil again since I moved it to the back. It says bring to a boil over medium-high heat, stirring frequently. Then it says to remove it from the heat. So I'm going to remove it. And I have a whole bunch, hi! I have a whole bunch of these little dishes, so I'm just going to put half a cup of serving. I'm going to pour it in to this and put it in the refrigerator. And it says to leave it there for about 3 hours. So if you're really doing 30 minutes, either you eat dessert way after your dinner or you put this in the refrigerator before 3 hours before dinner. So I'm going to leave that set there because I actually have some that are finished already, and I'm going to show that to you while the onions are cooking. Let me just wash the onion juice off my hands. Okay, I'm back. So I just took this out of the refrigerator. See how solid it is? Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's pretty solid and it's very tasty like this. But I'm just gonna dress it up a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I like things to look a little bit fun. So I took some mint from my herb garden. This is chocolate mint. So I just took a sprig of this. I'm going to stick it down in the middle. It smells really good. And we have some raspberries. These actually have been freeze-dried. We freeze-dried them. And I'm just going to put that on top. And there's our lovely dessert.
Nice.
Chocolate mint, did you dip it in chocolate?
No, that's the name of it. It's called
really?
it's called chocolate mint. So now my thing is telling me I'm running out of time because I started the class beforehand. So let me just see what I need to do to fix it. Oh, I hope I didn't lose you.
Does it turn you off in a half hour?
It's telling me I ran out of time.
It's only been 15 minutes.
I know because I came on earlier.
Oh, I was waiting till you'd have the full time.
Yeah, I was thinking I had 30 minutes from 3:30, but that's okay. I think I might still be able to show you the rest of this stuff before I really do run out of time. So my onions are cooking. Let me stir them real quick.
It's kind of like a pudding or something, you know?
Yeah, and it's a coconut milk pudding.
Does it tell you how long we have left before it runs out?
43 seconds.
And then it's gonna run out?
It says so.
Okay. Well, we might be able to do that. So this is the butter chicken that we're making. And while those onions are cooking, I'm going to show you a salad dressing. So I'm going to use my little Epicure cruet here, which I really like because it's all already measured here, so I can just add stuff. And it has a funnel here that fits it, so I can just pour things in. And this knife I also got, it's a paring knife, it's nice and sharp, and I'm going to use it for my lemon juice in my dressing. So I'm going to put in here, let me get my, I just tested this, kind of made up this recipe last night. So this is a really neat lemon juicer. It's metal. It also came from Epicure. So I'm just going to put my lemon in it upside down and put my funnel over here. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And if you know me, you know I don't really measure. So we're just going to put a half a lemon in there and hope that it's a juicy one. But this is really neat. I like this lemon juicer. We have that citrus press, which is really nice if we're doing lots of, yeah, this came out to be just about 2 tablespoons. But this is really convenient, and it turns the lemon inside out. As you can see, it's like inside out, so it gets all the stuff out. That's kind of neat. And then it just rinses off. And there's another one for limes, in case you want to do limes or smaller lemons. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of honey. So I don't need the funnel for the honey. It's already like this. And I have little lines on my jar here, so I'm just going to put it in until it reaches my line. And then I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of Bragg's aminos. And for this I am going to use the funnel because it squirts all over the place. So I'll put that up to the line. I'm going to stir my onions real quick. Okay, those onions are sauteed. So now I'm going to look on my recipe here. And it says to stir in the seasoning, which is this. So I'll cut it open. And add 1 can of coconut milk and 1/2 cup of crushed tomatoes. So I've got my 1 can of coconut milk here. And my 1/2 cup of tomatoes. These are really neat little storage containers that also come from Epicure. They have measurements on them and you can just store stuff. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to stir these in. Where's my seasoning? Here's my seasoning mix. Oh, it
You
smells
need
good.
mellow-vision, Brenda.
Yes, I know. I actually need taste-o-vision. I'd rather taste than smell.
True.
Although they are related. Oh, this does. It smells really delicious. So, I'm just going to show you what this looks like over here. I'm just stirring this seasoning mix in to the onions and coconut milk. Can you see it?
Yep.
It's like noodles.
What did he say?
It looks like noodles.
Oh, yeah, there's no noodles here. That's onions.
I
hard to tell that on the Zoom.
It's hard to tell that. Yeah, Zoom
Okay.
isn't. Zoom
Yeah, the
isn't.
onions do look like noodles on the Zoom.
Okay. Well, I could easily put this over noodles, but today I'm putting it over rice. So I'm gonna let that cook just a little bit, and I'm gonna finish my salad dressing here. So I'm gonna put in 1 teaspoon of Asian stir-fry seasoning. They actually have a ginger sesame salad dressing mix that I don't have, but I want to get. So I'm just gonna use this Epicure measuring spoon that I really like. It fits in all the jars. So even these skinny little jars, the measuring spoons fit in there, and it's a 4-way measuring spoon. I see 3 ways here. So I'm gonna put, there's 1 tablespoon, there's 1 teaspoon, and there's a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of this stir-fry, Asian stir-fry seasoning mix in here. And then I'm gonna fill it up to the line with sesame oil. And this is a really good sesame oil for salads. It's nice and light for salad dressings. So I'm gonna put some of this in here, but I really like that really sesame flavor that comes from cooking sesame oil. So I'm just gonna put 1/2 of this and 1/2 of the other kind. And don't laugh, but we use it a lot, so it's industrial size. But the nice thing is I can pour it right here with my little funnel. So I'm just gonna fill it up to the line.
That one, Brenda, is that olive oil?
No, that's this other sesame oil that comes from Japan. It's darker,
Oh,
it has a
okay,
heavier
right, okay.
flavor. So I'm gonna use that to give it a little bit more of an Asian flavor. And then I have my lid to my little cruet here. I'm gonna shake this up really well. And here is gonna be my Asian salad dressing. And I'll show you in a second, if we don't run out of time, what I'm gonna do with that. So I have put all the food together here that is called for, and then it says to use a 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, which I don't have, I don't use, but I'm gonna use a 1/2 cup of tofutti plant-based cream cheese. So I'm just gonna stir that in real quick. And I'm just gonna cook it and stir it until that cream cheese is all melted in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Are the garbanzos already in there?
no, I haven't put them in yet. Thanks for reminding me. I probably would have forgotten, Jan.
Really?
I'm using this, yes, I'm using this big can. I've already drained it and rinsed it. So I'm gonna put that in. I'm just stirring this together. And while that cream cheese is melting, I'm going to check on my rice. I think it might be just about done. Oh yes, my rice is done. That means everything else should be just about done. So I'm going to show you. Oh. I missed it. Okay. Okay, this is cooked now, so I'm going to show you what it's going to look like as a full meal. So Denny has chopped up some lettuce and kale from the garden, and I'm just going to put that as a bed around here, just around the outside edges of my plate here. I'm going to put my butter chicken on top of it. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put some carrot shreds on top, just to give it some color and a little bit of added nutrition here. And I have a few of these little cherry tomatoes from the garden. I'm just going to cut those in quarters here with my little sharp paring knife. And we'll garnish the top with those. And I grabbed some basil from my garden. I've got some Thai basil. I'm just going to put a sprig of that on top. And then I'm going to drizzle some of this dressing on the outside where I put the kale. I've got some honey that's still hanging around in the bottom there. Okay, there's my Asian dressing all mixed up. I'm just going to drizzle some of this where I've got my lettuce and kale. So I've got my fresh veggies, my grains, my protein. It's kind of a meal in one. So here we have it. We've got the butter chicken made plant-based with garbanzos, the panna cotta, and there we are. And it's less than 30 minutes. So thank you so much for watching. And I will post some extras and where you can actually order some of these things if you like.